Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast. This is Abe, your host. No intro music today. Sammy's asleep, so I have to be a little quieter. It is April 25th, 2026. I wanted to say 2025. So as far as an update, I was off today. Did some weed eating when I got home. I gotta finish it off tomorrow if it's not raining. It has been raining like on and off today, so fixed some dinner. I fixed some fried lamb chops with some baked beans. Pretty good stuff. I've been hooked on it here lately. Yeah, I missed out on a punk show tonight. I didn't realize it was Friday night. I thought it was well, it's Saturday now, but I thought it was tonight, Saturday night. Turns out it was Friday. I was like, well, shit. So that kind of sucked because it was only like $10 a ticket. It was a local band. Tomorrow, I'm supposed to be seeing Last Podcast on the Left live. So this kind of frustrated me. And I hope I didn't get fucking scammed. Who the fuck knows, but we bought these tickets. We tried going to the actual website. They said they were available. We kept putting in our information. And the Last Podcast site just sucks at buying tickets, I guess. Because we couldn't get it through. It wouldn't let us get it through. So we ended up going through a third party. And they still haven't sent us the information for the tickets. I mean, like today is literally the last day before the show tomorrow. So if we don't get it like before 8 p.m. tomorrow, it's like you guys just conned us, out of like, I think it was like $150, man. Which isn't like a huge amount of money, but it's still like, bro. So I'm a little stressed. I'm like, I don't even know how to feel because I'm not excited because I haven't still received my tickets yet. So like, we're gonna have to try to figure it out today, like what the fuck is going on, because it's like, bro, like I got my hopes up to see this shit. I don't know. It's bugging me. But anyways, so conspiracy community right now is blowing up as usual. Every other day there's something crazy going on. So we've covered Alex Jones throughout the years, like quite a bit. Hell, I ended up starting an Alex Jones playlist just because of how many times we've covered him. Tim Heidecker. Apparently he works for The Onion now. If you don't know who he is, he used to do a show called Tim and Eric Awesome Show. He reminds me a lot of Ethan Klein. Like, I used to love Ethan Klein. Like, early Ethan Klein was hilarious to me. To me, at least, I thought he was hilarious. And then he started his podcast and, like, literally became, like, one of the most biggest, like, idiotic fucking liberals on the face of the earth. With, like, the worst take on everything. When he used to be, like, the whole point of watching him back in the day was, like, oh, he's funny. I agree with him. His take is good. I feel like kind of the same way with Tim Heidecker. Like, I used to watch Tim and Eric Awesome Show. I didn't get it for years until I started smoking weed. And then I realized I was like, oh, this is just like trippy stoner humor. Like, and I think that's why people to this day are still like, I don't get it. And it's like, do you smoke weed? And they're like, no. And it's like, okay, that's probably why. Because it's literally like 3 a.m., your brain's fried on weed, and you're just kind of like, everything's funny, But plus, like, the way it's filmed, it's like very trippy. like kind of like natural born killers. But I was a fan of Tim and Eric show, but the reason I liked it is there wasn't any politics in the show. And I hadn't really even kept up with Tim Heidecker since the Tim and Eric show. To me, I thought he just dropped off the face of the earth. And apparently, like, he has like a podcast called like Office Hours or something like that. And I seen him the other day. I can't remember who was on there with him talking to him, but like he's just like super fucking retarded, like modern progressive, like liberal. I don't know. I just don't get it. Like, I'm a classic liberal, which is like today would be considered like a moderate, smack dab in the middle of the political spectrum. So I guess I don't know. I don't really like the left or the right anymore. Yeah, I don't know. It's so weird. So he works for The Onion, which The Onion was the same way. The Onion used to be fucking hilarious. And now they're so like, conservative that I just don't like when comedy bashes on just one side. Like, SNL back in the day used to be awesome because they would bash on the left, they would bash on the right. And all comedy now, mainstream comedy, it's all just like centered all against the right. And I don't know, it's lame. I just think it's lame. I think it's weak comedy. Comedy is supposed to be edgy, supposed to like buck the system, and now it's just like for the system. Because you look at like older comics like Bill Hicks or George Carlin, they were like rebelling against the system. Now comedies, like, they still think they're rebels even though they're fighting for the system. It's like, that's not how that works. So Tim Heidecker from The Onion. Apparently The Onion is in the process of buying Infowars. Let's get into this article. So The Onion has teamed with writer and comedian to reimagine the conspiracy theorist digital empire. Can you change what the word Infowar means to people? I heard too, in an interview, I was watching a more liberal talk show, because I watch everything, left and right, and middle, because I want to hear all sides of the spectrum, so I don't get caught in an echo chamber. I've always suggested that most people should do that. That way you're not getting caught in an echo chamber. Tim Heidecker thought The Onion had ghosted him when Tim and Eric Starr first heard that the satirical news site was looking to acquire Infowars, the extremist media outfit founded by conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. So it's already labeling like them extremist media. They're not extremist. I mean, extremist to me would be like having like a militia and like planning to do like political assassinations, boots on the ground terrorism, maybe like hacking in general. Like, that would be extremist to me. So a little dramatic. Heidecker reached out through his agent. He had parodied Jones' gruff, hysteric mannerisms before, and although he didn't precisely have a plan, he knew he wanted to offer up his services. By the way, I don't hate Tim Heidecker either. Like I said, like, his old shit was funny. I don't think I'd ever want to hang out with him after knowing that he's like a super progressive dude. Because I just can't stand like shit libs, But his impression of Alex Jones is like horrible. It's not even funny. It doesn't sound anything like him. He doesn't look anything like him. It's just like horrible. I don't know. That's one thing. It's like literally like cringe level. It's like that's not Alex. Like, and he's saying stupid shit that it's like Alex wouldn't say that. Like, it's so stupid. Frankly, I didn't hear back. It got put on the back burner. Heidecker tells Rolling Stone. Over a year later, he would get a response. The Onion had finally closed a deal to take over the Framed Conspiracy website, and they wanted to reshape it as a comedic outfit for Heidecker at its creative helm. Here's the thing. Alex Jones has literally admitted that in court with the Sandy Hook stuff, that his character on the radio and broadcasting is a character. To say that they want to turn it into a comedic outfit, it's already comedy, bro. Like, does anyone actually watch Alex Jones for like actual alternative news? You know, and I'm not hating on Alex. I've stood up for Alex for years. I watch him every now and then if there's like a clip, a crazy clip of him, you know. But I watch it more for humor. But I do listen to what he's saying. Like, he was on Duncan Trussell a while back, and he was like spitting fire as far as like the truth, you know, and bringing up documents and everything. He's not stupid, and he is putting out truth, you know. Does he get everything right 100% of the time? Hell no. No one gets everything right 100% of the time. You see, this is the thing about the conspiracy community. Is if they catch you slipping up and you get something wrong, you'll lose fan base because of that. Or, and sometimes it don't even have to be that. If you're not Christian like they want you to be, or you make a crass joke, you're not a conspiracy theorist. How dare you make a dark joke like that, or a gross joke like that? You know, why are you cussing? Like, because I'm a normal dude. Like, I'm a punk, bro. For some reason, people are in the conspiracy community are like the weirdest motherfuckers. Like, and I'm one of them. But like, yeah. So, but yeah, I've always seen him as comedic in general. Like, I watch him for comedy. So I don't know. And I think he's not lying when he says it's a character, because if you look at super old Alex Jones, I'm talking like when he was on like public broadcast television and all that, he was just like chill as hell. While during broadcast, he was like a normal chill guy. He didn't start doing like the whole angry weird shit until like the early 2000s, I think. And his numbers went up. He realized that if he acted a fool, his numbers would go up, and they have. Like, it works. You know, if I went full blown Alex Jones mode on here, I'm sure my numbers would go up, you know. So I don't know. The Onion first entertained the possibility of taking over Infowars in 2024 in the aftermath of a verdict in favor of a coalition of Sandy Hook families who sued Jones for defamation over his baseless claims that the school shooting had been a false flag hoax. By the way, that's not true if you actually look into Sandy Hook. Oh, wait, YouTube deleted all the documentaries. That's okay, though. Go on something like BitChute or Rumble, and you can still find, like, actual documentaries about Sandy Hook. It's fishy as fuck. And another thing, too, that's the beautiful thing about America and the First Amendment, is you should be allowed to believe and say whatever the fuck you want. You know? It's just, to me, I don't know. I don't want to get started on it too much, because I've pretty much said throughout the years what I feel about it, and it's such a touchy subject. I don't want YouTube fucking with me. Plus, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. And I'm trying to get as much followers as I can. And, I don't want to sit here and make this a Spotify or Rumble exclusive, because it's like pulling teeth to get people to get off of YouTube. The verdict pushed Jones and Infowars into bankruptcy, and his assets have been placed under a court-appointed monitor through which Sandy Hook families will receive the proceeds of the liquidation of his assets. So, I think he filed bankruptcy. I mean, Jones is broke. He's not, like, as wealthy as he used to be. And by the way, like, people have come out who have worked with Jones, and they're, because a lot of the left has been like, oh, like, he's not paying a cent, he's not even trying, and it's like, no. Okay, here's the thing, though. They want him deplatformed, and but at the same time, they will say, we want him to pay the victims, families. It's one or the other. Imagine, like, someone going, hey, we need you to pay child support, but that same person keeps showing up to your workplace drunk and trying to get you fired from your job. It's like, do you want child support or not? Like, you're fucking with my shit. I had said when this shit happened, Jones should be a complete fucking dickhead and start a YouTube channel and not monetize it, so that way he could still broadcast and do all that, but do it through his phone and get a job at McDonald's. I'm not even joking. So that way when they're like, oh, we want your money, it's like, oh, I only make like $300 a week, so there you go. Enjoy. You're not getting shit. That would be what I would do. Now, I'm sure there's someone in the comments who will be like, find some loophole or something, but I don't know. It'd be a good idea. Just fuck it. I'm working at McDonald's, and I'm just gonna put shit out on my phone and not monetize my shit on the phone. So yeah, they're taking his assets. Oh, and what I was saying though, there's actually been like former and current employees who are like, yeah, dude, like Jones is not living as rich as he was. I mean, is he still enjoying steak and whiskey and enjoying life? Yes, he's more wealthy than me and you. But they had to get rid of like the Hummer. Remember they had that decked out Hummer that was like military grade with, that thing was a fucking tank. They got rid of that shit. The studio, apparently, like the studio, like they got rid of a shit ton of equipment and like, yeah. And Infowars has been struggling ever since this lawsuit, I said, honestly, just sell it all and, like, just give it to the fucking families. And just, like, because here's the thing, man. I was talking to someone the other day about it. Like, Jones doesn't need all that extra fancy shit. Jones comes from, like, old school broadcasting, so I understand that he's, like, kind of got that boomer mindset of, I need to dress in a suit and tie. I need a cup of coffee next to me. I need a fancy desk and, like, all these lights and screens behind me and cameras moving on tracks. And you don't need all that shit. I'm literally podcasting for you from my phone sitting on a bed in a dark room. Like, you don't need all that theatrics, bro. You really don't. Most people podcast just like me and you, like you're seeing right now. Like, every podcast that I listen to is like literally people sitting in front of a computer on a Zoom meeting with like some super famous person. Like, the whole talk show host shit, like the Ellen DeGeneres, Alex Jones, all that Drew Barrymore show, The View, all that shit is dead. First of all, nobody watches that shit anymore, and second off, like, you don't need all the theatrics. Just fucking do the show. Like, you don't, all he needs is his cell phone, which he does, like, do broadcast every now and then while he's driving or from his car or his truck and shit every now and then. I think he's starting to realize, like, oh, I don't need a studio. Like, no, you don't, dude. The takeover was stalled by a series of legal maneuvers by Jones and competing prospective buyers. In this new deal, which is awaiting judicial approval, the Onion will pay a monthly licensing fee to the court-appointed manager of Infowars under the settlement reached with the Sandy Hook victims' families. So this is a quote from Ben Collins, CEO of the Onion. This is a culmination of a 2-year-long effort to get some justice for the Sandy Hook victims. So like I said, the Onion has gone like super liberal now. Which, I mean, it's always been left-leaning, but like back in the day, it was like the sane left, like I said, classic liberal. Now they're just super progressive. On Wednesday, the newspaper released its first teaser clip of their new content, featuring the now defunct Onion News Network former fictional host Jim Haggerty, reimagined as a red-pilled independent podcaster in the style of Tucker Carlson. So I did watch an interview with Tim Heidecker earlier today. He says what their plan is to buy Infowars under the Onion. Keep it named Infowars. They're going to put out like fake products. Like Alex Jones, you know how Alex Jones is always hashing products, which I don't see anything wrong with that. For some reason, people think that you should just like spend all your time, making content and not get a cent back, which is really weird. So like, it's okay to make money on talk radio, but unless it's conspiracy and podcasting, then you're not allowed to make money off of it. And it's like, so what about like Art Bell? Like, did he not deserve a paycheck for like, the 5 or 6 hours a night that he would podcast, like, or radio broadcast? Like, it is the like one of the few jobs that like people are like, oh, you don't deserve money for that, is conspiracy podcasting. You don't deserve money for that. Every other job on the face of the earth you get paid for, though. It makes no sense to me. Otherwise, you're a grifter. But yeah, they're gonna put out like fake products. They said, which I ain't gonna lie, that is kind of funny. They said one of the things they're gonna do is capsuled air, like pills, air pills, oxygen pills. I was like, oh my god, that's actually pretty fucking funny. Another thing was they're gonna do he said the plan is to only keep it running for like 3 months. Of like, they're gonna buy Infowars, they're gonna make like mock Infowars, run it as Infowars, but a mock version for like 3 months and then stop, because he said the joke wouldn't be funny after about 3 months, which I agree with him on that. Like, yes, I would be curious just to see what it would be like. First of all, to see if it's even funny. Second off, like, just in general, just out of curiosity. But he's kind of not wrong on there. Like, if they kept it going for years, the joke would get old super quick. 3 months sounds about right. Let it roll for 3 months, but I don't know. Let's see. Not that I'm rooting for them or anything, but from a comedic and money-making point of view, he's not wrong. So, Heidecker on Wednesday, he discussed making fun of Jones, his partnership with The Onion, and how he hopes to reshape the dark legacy of Infowars into a net good. See, that's the thing. They see these people as, like, the enemy. As, like, bad guys, It's just sad. I wonder if, like, when we all live in a dystopian future at like, in 2030... I wonder if they realize, like, oh shit, the crazy people, the right-wing extremists, they were right all along and we probably should have been listening. I wonder that about a lot of these people. Tim Heidecker, he might be alright, though, because he's a celebrity, he towed the line. But as far as, like, everyday, super progressive, super idiotic libtards. I wonder, like, in the year 2030, which it's coming up quick, if they're gonna go like, oh shit, I was on the wrong team the entire time, and I helped out, you know, the globalist. I was a globalist pawn and didn't realize it, and it's gonna be like, yeah, it's too late now. We live in a Blade Runner dystopia. Like, thanks, man. We tried to tell you, it's too late now, dude. Ben Collins said in one of his first interviews announcing the takeover that you had to actually been the first person to reach out to them about the transformation. What were you thinking at that time? When the first rumor about this had happened, that the Onion were going to get in some auction, I saw it like everybody else. I'm doing my podcast, office hours, and on cinema. I play in these waters a lot of satire and have been doing an Alex Jones impression for years. Well, if you've been doing it for years, you haven't gotten any better at it, bro. So I just reached out through my agent to Ben, cold call, like, hey, if this happens, I would love to be a part of it. I didn't know what that would even look like. I got lost in this shuffle, and then it didn't happen. And months later, October of last year, I got a call from them like, hey, this is back on the table, and we were big fans and love all your spoofs and goofs. And do you have any thoughts on if this happens? Infowars is a brand that carries a lot of negative weight. How do you approach custodianship of this entity, which did a lot of awful things, and ensure that the families who sued him are getting their due? I know, in fact, that families want this person to feel bad and hurt, a bit of retribution or justice and consequences for what he did, and I think the strongest way to do that is not through violence or anything like that, but just through laughing at somebody, making fun of that person, mocking them, and making them look like a fool. In the short term, that's what it's going to be about. But then I want to leave Jones behind. The initial radical thought I had was, can you change what the word Infowar means to people? Give it 4 years and suddenly it means something else. I see what his plan is. Do I think it's going to work? No. Infowars is always going to be Alex Jones. Here's how I know this. Coast to Coast AM. Look, I have no problem with George Norrie. I love George Norrie. He's a cool guy, but he's not Art Bell. Even to this day, I do not listen to any of the George Norrie episodes. It's Art Bell or it's nothing else. After Art Bell left, everyone kind of switched over to listening to what Art Bell was putting out. Like Midnight in the Desert, Dreamland, And then after Art died, I never got into George Norrie. Like, it's like replacing the lead singer of a band. This happens all the time. Like, The Doors, they did a tour for a while. And obviously Jim is dead. And they're like, yeah, he sounds just like Morrison. I'm like, but it's not Morrison. Like, I wouldn't go and see that concert. The only way I'd go and see that concert if the tickets were free. It's not the same band. Black Sabbath. I love Ronnie James Dio to death. Is it cool to hear Dio sing those Black Sabbath songs? Yeah. And Black Sabbath with Dio, it wasn't bad, but it's not Ozzy Osbourne. Misfits. The Glenn Danzig era is a billion times better than the Michael Graves era. Still sounds good, still good music, but it's just not the same. So no, I don't think that people are gonna, 4 years from now, like he said, I think he said 4 years, they're gonna look back and the only thing they're gonna see is the Heidecker era of Infowars. Like, you're only doing it for 3 months, you even said it. And 2, No, they're always going to remember it as Alex Jones. When someone says Infowars, they're not going to think Tim Heidecker. They're going to think Alex Jones. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this. It's a weird time. It's kind of bittersweet. Because I love Alex Jones. I love Alex Jones. I know he's a crazy person. I know he's not right all the time, but I've always been a fan of Tim Heidecker. Like, I don't know. It's weird. We live in like the weirdest fucking times. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Love y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe. I forgot to plug my stuff. Give me just a second. I have a Buy Me a Coffee account set up in the link below. If you donate to the channel, I will send you a bumper sticker and a bookmark. And go ahead and check out the Alex Jones playlist if you want to see the other episodes I've done on him. I'm off for the rest of the day, so I may put out some more episodes. Who knows? I don't know. Y'all have a good day.